This is More Muns Racing. I'm Avery Moore. This is Hunter Muns.
Hello.
And this is Authentication Security Part 2, Multi-Factor Authentication. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So on the last installment of Authentication Security, named Part 1, we talked about why your password sucks. So take a look at that if you haven't. And there's an added factor here that you should add into your account security, and that's multi-factor, sometimes referred to as two-factor. Sometimes places or websites or services refer to it as multi-step or two-step. That's all fine and good, and there are multiple ways to do it. So, but what that is, there's the way that I use, which a lot of folks use, and there's a couple of other ways as well. So when you log into an account, let's say it's a banking account or something like that, you log in, put your username, your password, and then the website will prompt you for another factor. And where you get that other factor is a token application, right? Or a soft token. Now the way I do this, and a lot of other folks do because it's easy, is you have a token generator application on your phone. And what it does, this is the craziest thing, right? This is some serious math. When you set up that extra factor on your account, you take, what it does is it presents you, which way are we going?
You pick.
Okay, let's go this way. You, when you're setting that up on your account, they will present you with a QR code or a number, and you'll use your token generator and add an authenticator, right? And you will take a shot of that QR code, and boom, what you've just done is you've seeded, as in like a seed, you planted a seed. That's the initial seed, which is a shared secret between you and the service. And your password or your token generator takes that and every 30 seconds does some crazy math and generates like a 6 or 8 digit number. So what happens is you put your username, password, and the website says, hey, what's your token code? You punch in that 6 or 8 digit code. As long as you do it within 30 seconds or a minute or so, boom, you're in. And so even if somebody were to get your password, they still would need that second factor in order to log in. So it's not foolproof, and right, it's not a panacea. It's not going to solve all your security problems, but
it's brilliant. I had never heard of this stuff.
It's the craziest thing. But it makes it a lot harder to break into somebody's account. I mean, an attacker will move on, essentially, because they know they're going to find another account that is much easier to compromise than yours. So Google they offer an application that you can use for free. It's called Google Authenticator. Have that on your phone. Set it up with just about every service that's out there. Some websites will offer like an SMS text message. That's okay. It's not as good. There are some insecurities about that, and that's getting better, right? Would recommend the Authenticator app first. And then there are other ones that will push you a notification on your phone. So when you go to log in, your phone will buzz and it'll say, hey, are you trying to log into this site? And if you're not, then you say no, and it will block the login. And if you are, you say yes, and that is essentially your second factor. Now let's talk a little bit about factors, right? So multi-factor. Well, first of all, what's a factor? Well, in security, there's kind of 3 fundamental factors, right? So the first one is something you know, right? That's a factor. So what is that? That's username, you know that. That's essentially you saying, hey, I'm Avery. And your password is saying, hey, I'm proving it's me because I know this password, something you know. And the other factor and another factor is something you have. And the something that you have is your token, right? And that's your And nowadays it's your phone, because everybody carries around their phone, and so it's an easy thing to do. Everybody has a phone. You've got your authenticator on your phone. That's something you have. So we've got something you know, something you have, and then there's another one, something you are, which is crazy, also known as biometrics, right? So that could be a fingerprint. There's ways that you can log in using a fingerprint, iris scan, facial recognition is one of them. I don't know that they're doing blood. It was like, hey, put a drop of blood on here. We'll check your DNA. I don't think we're doing that one.
Probably won't be long.
Or something else you have is voice recognition. And then there's another one that's less common, but you'll see it in some ultra secure applications, is somewhere you are is another factor. So you can't log in from just anywhere. You have to be within a certain geographical vicinity. So that's kind of the long and short of multi-factor authentication and why you should implement it. I'm not going to go into the nuts and bolts of how. There's plenty of stuff out there on Google, through Google, that you can find out how to do that. And every account's a little bit different, but I highly recommend any chance you get to implement multi-factor authentication on your account, especially the really important ones like bank account, email, things like that. Please, please, please do that as soon as you can.
Okay, what do you recommend for the idiot computer user like me? What would be the best way to get started with multi-factor? I mean, if there are several options, what's the easiest way to get to a level of acceptable security?
Yep.
Which one do you recommend?
Most of the time, they'll offer Google Authenticator integration, and you get the app, you download it, install it, and then every time you want to implement that, you do that option. It will present you with a QR code. Boom. And then you have a line on your Google Authenticator that's associated with, US Bank or whatever, I don't know, Gmail or something like that.
So that one's pretty idiot proof.
It is pretty good, yeah.
Okay, that's
now,
all I need to know.
What you want to do, because your phone now is, your key, it's your token. So there's a way you can sort of back that up, and how you do that is, and this is kind of low tech, but you can literally do a screenshot of that QR code, because that's your shared secret. You do a screenshot, print that guy out, and put it in a safe somewhere, right?
Okay.
Or somewhere safe. That is essentially your shared secret between you and that application. And so if something happens to your phone, you get your new phone, you can scan that, and boom, you're good to go.
Oh, okay.
You get you into your account, and then if you lost your phone, then you can reset up a new token.
Or even if your phone battery dies.
Or if your phone dies or something like that. Now, I know Google has the ability to have backup codes. We're going this way.
Yeah.
And so what you can do with Google, like Gmail or your Google account, and a lot of other sites do this too, is you can say, hey, I'm setting up all this stuff, but please generate for me 10 backup codes. And it will give you 10 backup codes that are used once only. And what you do is you take those backup codes, print it out, put it in your safe. So if all else fails, you give yourself that backup code, so you don't lock yourself out. So that way, if you lose your phone,
I need a security blanket to feel comfortable with.
Yeah. So that way you're not completely lost, if something bad happens to your phone or whatever. So, because people lose their phones, right? It happens. And so you kind of give yourself a little bit backup. So that's the cool part. It makes it much more difficult. Again, it's not like Fort Knox. Heck, even if you tried really hard, you still could get in Fort Knox, but we'll cover that on another episode, potentially. We got to do a little more homework on that one, but it just makes it harder for attackers to get into your really important accounts. So there you go. That is Authentication Security Part 2 here on More Munz Racing.
Disclaimer, we're not going to try to crack into Fort Knox in case anybody out there is listening.
Yes, lest this video end up as evidence. No, we are not trying to. We are not going to. We have no plans to break into Fort Knox at all. Zero. None. You heard right here. More Munz Racing. Be sure and like and subscribe, and you can get notifications whenever we have more videos, or I don't know, whatever. Do whatever you want.